Welcome to the Hero Escape Podcast, your weekly escape from not buying the Blu-ray of Solo: A Star Wars Story. I am one of your three co-hosts, Wrong Howard, and I am joined by...
Jean Lefance des Ponts.
Fonce Le Ponce?
Yeah. You're big into the French names lately.
You are fancy.
Taking a vacation
Fonce
sometime
The
soon?
celebration of our national hero, level bon voyage.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Okay.
Monsieur Incroyable.
Today I am Crix Maydeen, and I too would like to have a moment of silence for all of those many Bothans who died to bring us this information about the Emperor and the second Death Star.
So many.
Who turned out that they died just to set up Admiral Akbar to say, it's a trap! In retrospect, that little like quiet scene, like, you made us fall into a trap. Anyways.
Has somebody on Reddit ever put up, like, photoshopped that scene, but like with a tarp and said, it's a tarp? Like that. I think that'd be mildly funny.
I've seen a lot
It's worth
of
doing.
coffee
Mildly
shops. You know,
funny.
the coffee shops put out the little cardboard, not cardboard, the chalkboard
Yeah.
standee, you know, and then somebody draws Akbar and it's a frap, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. It's
Yes. And
Dude.
Scott Johnson, one of my greatest internet cartoonists, did an amazing single panel cartoon of Admiral Akbar manning one of those tiny little snack trucks, and the logo on the sign was "It's a snack."
It's a
You know what I mean?
snack.
It's a snack.
Or maybe it's
Dude,
a wrap.
the Admiral
I forget,
Akbar,
but
yeah, it's so good. And the people who do it really good, the "It's a Trap" line is the how it should have ended videos.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Do you know what this is?
It's hot.
Do you know what this is? What?
Yeah, how it should have ended. Look it up. It's awesome.
It's such a great scene.
Yeah.
I gotta
Yeah.
say though, a little bit of a disappointment with Rogue One that we didn't see the Bothans. Didn't expect
Well, Rogue One's for the
Bothans
first
dying.
Death Star.
That's-
That
that's-
line is for the
That's
second one.
true.
People get that confused all the time, which is because
Yes.
there's more than one Death Star. But
We're talking
yeah.
about the orbital battle station number 2.
Yes, yeah, yes.
I
And
accept your correction.
Gonna, there you go. I was going to be Mon Mothma and do the line in character, but it turns out I'm a dude. So I went with Crix Maydeen. But anyways, okay.
Oh man,
I know you rebellion people like to refer to it as the Death Star, but I mean here in the Empire we refer to it by the correct name, the orbital battle station.
That's right. Death Star is just like a
Well, thanks for
really
that.
degrading nickname. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
It's so un PC of me. I
Why don't they
apologize.
put a railing in? They said we're going to be leaning on it.
Can you believe that?
Oh, that was an extended intro, wasn't it?
yeah,
Welcome
yeah.
to the Hero Escape Podcast,
yeah,
everybody.
yeah. All right.
Wow. We do have a lot to talk about. Unfortunately, we have to talk about more Warner Brothers shenanigans. I don't know if you guys have read
I
what is
did.
going on.
I
It
did.
is it is simultaneously a ray of hope for a reboot and also
Yeah, there you go.
crushing disappointment that they're not going. So here's what's happening, okay? The rumor mill, there's sometimes a little more force behind a rumor, right? Like you get the impression that somebody talked to somebody that's there. They're in the
Right,
know.
right,
That
right.
Henry Cavill is out. He's done his last Superman movie. They're not doing any more with him. It's a little crazy. It's a little disappointing because he's one of maybe the better parts of the current.
Oh yeah, he's my
Yeah.
favorite guy in DC, bar none.
He and Wonder Woman are winning.
yeah.
I
mean,
do.
they're not enough.
I do love this current iteration of Aquaman. I've been more enthralled by the character of Aquaman than I ever have been.
Yeah. He's better
But-
than I thought he'd be.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But Henry Cavill Runaway is my favorite guy in DC right now. So but then they can't make up their minds. It seems like what their universe is even doing, right? Cinematically, am I just
what I'm saying.
like,
It's a
we're gonna have
So-
like this continuous storyline? No, we're not. We're gonna have as many spin-offs as we feel like, and we'll have 5 different people playing Batman, even though there's really only one Batman. Their universes won't overlap, and so who knows?
That was
Did
the
you-
silver
did you hear-
lining.
The latest thing I heard is that he's like I guess his agent or whatever was like, no, he's not. He still has the cape. He's not out for Superman. But I think the solid takeaway is that he won't be cameoing in the Shazam movie, which is what they were trying to work out. So I don't know. I don't know if they if
Well, the
he's
other
solid out or if he's not solid out.
Which is bizarre. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Which is bizarre that they couldn't get that they were even thinking of having him cameo in the Shazam movie, because you would think that like the trailer seems like Shazam's all about fun and silly,
Right.
in the way that they're spinning, that take on Shazam rather than
Yeah.
the more classic, like he's essentially a clone of Superman Shazam. But to then have Superman like cameo in, that almost would be like, well, like square peg round hole kind of a thing a little bit. Like I'd love it. I'd love to see. I
think done right, I think it would work really well.
you would hope so.
Yeah.
But
I feel like it'd steal the spotlight a little bit. Don't you?
it
from
could.
Shazam?
That's I say you have to do it right where it doesn't, right? You have to make it
but we're asking
where he's
DC
maybe
to
almost
do it
yeah,
right.
that's true.
I'm just saying,
I
you're
hate,
gonna be
I hate
right,
to be
it's
that
like,
guy
yeah.
right now.
bring in your second string. Like
hoping that my
Flash,
son
Aquaman.
carries a full glass of water across the room. Like
right, yeah. Every movie that they've done has been very, very dark tinted. Like what's the filter that you always?
Yeah, sepia tone.
Yeah, sepia tone. Everything's dark, and the entire world is actually an extension of Gotham. Everything's a suburb of Gotham, and then the Shazam one is so happy and silly that it would just be like, huh? It would almost be feels like it'd be misplaced. But anyways, it's a shame he's not going to cameo it. You give me more Henry Cavill. I like him, so it's a bummer. But hopefully they're not done with him permanently. They are done with him. What do you guys think? I mean,
there's other components to the story that made me sort of think about it.
Oh, okay.
The other element was that it also came with a confirmation that Affleck is out. They were referring to this as kind of like the second person to be,
yeah, it's
and
I am
products
150%
can.
on board with Affleck being out.
yeah.
Yeah. If you look at the Justice League thing, right, that we had, like the movie that we had, maybe not the director and all that, and you kind of look at it and you're like, a little bit, not entirely, but a little bit, this whole thing is falling apart because of Batfleck. You know what I mean? Like you said, you love Aquaman, everybody loves Wonder Woman, everybody's cool with Cable as Superman, everybody I think was pretty good with The Flash, with Ezra Miller, so it's like, what's the problem here? It appears to be Ben Affleck, all his personal issues that are going on right now.
There's a lot of behind the stuff scenes too that make it a wreck.
Yeah.
But he
the
wouldn't help.
director's-
He wasn't helping, right? I mean, you got to have people pulling the opposite way to help pull it up, and he was not.
Another component of the rumor, because there were several cascading things that came out of this whole thing. Like I said, it seemed like somebody had like a conversation with someone on the inside. Was that they're reshifting their focus to a Supergirl movie?
Yep.
Which is the worst idea in the world to me. Sorry if that hurt somebody's feelings, but I like Supergirl.
How do you like her barefoot in the kitchen, David?
Exactly,
My goodness.
exactly. Supergirl doesn't need a watch because what's the joke? Superman doesn't need a watch because the stove has a timer or something like that. The stove has a clock on it.
Yeah.
No, she is kind of
Supergirl doesn't need a watch.
I don't like when you expand too much in a universe, but I thought,
David,
okay,
you're
one cousin
terrible.
I'm fine with, but
I was trying to beat you to the sexist joke punch just so you didn't have
You're
to do it
tarnishing
because
your
you're scare me
sterling
when you do
reputation
it.
as a feminist.
well, yeah. But I'm just thinking, like, if I think like a greedy capitalist, Supergirl has always been a distant second in any sort of being able to carry some title on her own. So why would you go that way if you're some?
That's just the facts of it, right? You're not saying that. You're not saying that to be mean, but that is just the facts of it. And I think the reason why they've even considered it is because initially the Supergirl TV show that came out was pretty successful. I haven't watched it. My wife, she was just kind of saying, like, people don't like to be patronized when they realize that you're just patronizing me, right? Like my wife's like, you don't need Supergirl, we got Superman. Like, she doesn't even like the concept of, like, why is there even a Supergirl? It's just dumb. Like, she didn't really like it. Then she actually was embarrassed to admit to me, she's like, actually, I did watch the show. It actually wasn't that bad. But she's also fallen off the bandwagon. I was reading reviews about the later seasons, and it's just become super political from what the reviews are telling me. It's very agenda driven, no action. It's like relationships and feelings instead of stopping crime and saving
Sounds like
people.
Tony Stark Iron Man.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's
Who doesn't want to watch a superhero show where we establish that the character has a set of superpowers that you want to see do something, but then we watch them go through life and challenges with their dating woes and meeting Mr. Right and what outfit do I wear and work is so stressful.
well, I don't know that the Supergirl show does that.
Like,
but if they are going to do a Supergirl movie, like you've heard me say this a million times, I'm rooting for everything to be awesome. I love for there to be more awesome things.
Yeah.
But the fact that it seems like anytime they start something awesome, it turns, either it doesn't even start awesome or they turn it unawesome. I get a little worried. I hope it's awesome if they do it, and I don't know why you would want to not have Henry Cavill in that too, because nobody has said, dude, that Henry Cavill stinks at Superman. I've not heard that anywhere.
Right. Exactly. I don't understand.
He's gotten zero blame for anything. Like people who didn't even like the Man of Steel movies, that was never, he's a terrible Superman. No, though I've heard that from no one or read that from no one. Like he is not the problem with DC right now.
Not at all.
So I hope I read that same article, a couple articles too. Man, I hope it's not true that he's done with it, because he's my favorite draw on DC right now.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand how you get rid of your two leads in the lineup. It sounds like you're ready to do a reboot, but then you don't do a reboot. They got a new Wonder Woman movie coming out, and they're planning other, Aquaman is obviously coming out very soon.
Yeah.
It's just so halfway there. Yeah. It aggravates me to death because you want the reboot. Take a break.
It's a weird thing going on over there. It's like watching, I think I said this earlier, it's like watching the slowest train wreck. And you watch one car crashes and you're like, oh, that stinks. Well, hopefully the rest of it's okay. And you're there and you come back a couple hours later.
Another one.
And now the next car is crashing. You're like, what? Hold on. What? Why is it still crashing? They didn't,
like you're the Flash running by a train wreck, and to you it seems slowed down. Slow.
It seems like they're just like, oh, well, let's try turning this way and see if this makes it. Nope, it will not.
You're on a track.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. I
will agree with you. I hope the Supergirl movie is great if they do that. I hope that they just make it a fun action movie, right? But in my heart, I will say I'm going to be wishing I was watching a Man of Steel 2 or something. But
yeah, it's just.
I hope so. Yeah. Before they kill it, I want one. Can you give me one more good Superman movie with him? I want one more. Just give me one more, please. And then reboot or something.
Yeah.
Just
a Cable movie on his own, Superman movie that was about Brainiac or something like that. I would totally be down.
Oh, I would love that.
Brainiac's Krypton's being eaten up the Brainiac character right now.
That show.
No,
have you been continuing on with it?
No, I couldn't get past 5. It got too political agenda for me.
Oh, really?
I'm so sick of that.
Take your agenda out of this media,
I'm
people.
So
we just want
sick of
superhero
it. It's not
stuff.
entertaining. It's not interesting even. It's a big, huge turnoff. I'm coming to you for entertainment.
I didn't come there to get preached at. Right?
Yeah.
Was Krypton being slowly destroyed by the newly elected president Schmunnald Schmump? Krypton.
No.
These writers are super sharp.
Yeah. Anyways, it was just like, come on, guys. Anyway.
Don Ald or something like that.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. I don't know who they think they think they're speaking to some audience that really values and will that type of, I guess, storytelling. But I just don't understand who does value that. Where like they want to pay money for it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm honestly like, honey, let's go watch this Batman show that will agree with all of our political beliefs and validate all of my opinions. Let's do that because I want to.
That's exactly how the conversation goes.
I mean, you get that. Yeah. Anyways, people don't pay to be entertained. Anyways,
it makes me want whoever's job. Whoever, if it's Jeff Johns or whoever, it just makes me want the job. You don't have normally you don't have the confidence. Like, I feel like I could never do what Paul Feige does, right? Or Kevin Feige. Yeah.
Sorry.
Can never do what Kevin Feige does.
You're thinking of Paul Blart.
When you see peanut butter, it fills the cracks of the heart.
Paul
favorite line. But then you see something like this and you're like, man, I wish I had that job. I could own that job. You know what I mean? Like, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Was back in the day, was Swamp Thing, was that also DC? I feel like it was, right?
Is it, or is it
started out with the Vertigo, the offshoot, and then kind of got folded in or something like that? Because it was
one of them. Marvel has one of them.
There's Swamp Thing and there's the.
I think Marvel
or the Marvel. It or something like that. Anyways, but I saw some article about them. What's going on with
They're making a Swamp Thing TV show.
I heard it's like going to be hard R.
Hard R. Like the Teen Titans thing. It's like they're doubling down on the dark thing. Like
weird.
People are going to be like, I thought Swamp Thing was green, not sepia tone. What's going on here?
Yeah.
That is odd.
So it's a series of unfortunate events.
So is it like from a gruesome standpoint, or?
I think a little bit of everything, because the guy, the guy that wrote it is the same guy who did Watchmen. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. He's like one of the biggest names.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't like his stuff. I mean? Yeah. Okay.
It's going to occur to me in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's him. And people were saying, okay, the source material was pretty adult and serious and all that. But it's only interesting.
Well, the original material is a horror film from the 40s or 50s?
Yeah, maybe so. But in the context of the other decisions that they're making, that's what makes it seem like a crazy like, let's go super dark with Teen Titans, and we're gonna go super dark with this, and people complained about our super dark Batman v Superman, but we're gonna do this anyway, and we're gonna just boom, 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 boom. Anyway, I just I felt like we needed to talk about that.
The director of Watchmen was Zack Snyder. Are you talking writer David Hayter?
No, the writer of the original
the comic
novel.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Frank Miller?
No.
No.
Frank Miller was Dark Knight stuff, Dark Knight, all that sort of thing. It'll occur to me. I'll blurt it out in a few minutes. But anyway,
Graphic novel is Alan Moore.
Alan Moore, yes, that's the name.
Alan
Moore.
Wow.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the source material was pretty dark.
First Green
Look at
Lantern,
that dude.
Yep,
He's
and if you look up his picture online, I mean, he's got the Mountain Man look going. Super long beard, super creepy long.
Yeah.
He's doing the part.
He was the first Green Lantern too. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can't. Now I wish
You are
I feel
not
stupid
full
that
of truth right now. Holy cow.
The first Green Lantern's name was Alan something, but I can't remember what his last name was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I want to talk about because I just it was a little upsetting when I read it today. You know, you read the headline, you're like, oh, they're rebooting. Oh, they're not.
It's sad.
So
It's sad.
yeah.
Please give me more Henry Cavill.
Can I tell you guys something
I would love for you
that I
to.
heard?
Yes. Ooh, the rumor
It's not
mill.
a rumor. It's not a rumor. It's more
mill.
like I want to hear your opinions. If you think this blew my mind, but I'm not sure if I'm on board or not. So, famed podcaster and movie writer, whatever.
Dave Saxon.
What's the guy's name? Fat Man on Batman.
Oh,
Kevin
another guy?
Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was talking with a buddy of his about new Star Wars movie. And he says, and he has this idea like, oh, they should.
He keeps
he's
losing
excited.
credibility with me because he keeps trying to make excuses for Star Wars right now.
So this is not any sort of. This is just hold on. Just don't judge me or him yet. Okay, so he's talking with a buddy of his about.
I'm not going to
Clone
judge
Wars.
him, but you.
Okay, you can judge me some. I mean, I did come in a leotard today, so
and you're smashing.
Very
smashing.
form-fitting.
thank you. So they're talking about how Clone Wars is coming back, right? I think we
Right.
talked about that maybe an episode or two ago. Clone Wars coming back, and he's talking about like how like they want Ahsoka back in Clone Wars more. Like they think it'd be awesome that they're thinking like, oh, maybe they're doing that. And Ahsoka, the character of Ahsoka Tano, right? She's sort of a fan favorite. That I think she was created in Clone Wars, and
Yep.
and he was like,
She's
I
the
would
Padawan
love-
to Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, and he was like, I would love for her to make her way into the new movies.
She'd be
Somehow. She'd be older. She'd be older.
older Tano.
Yeah.
Because
But he's like, I'd love her to make
in
her
the
way into the
solo
new
sequel
movies.
that's not coming.
And it has been rumored, supposedly, that the actress Kerry Russell is in the new movies playing some role. So this guy, and he's like, oh, maybe that's what she'll do. Maybe she'll play Ahsoka Tano. And he's like, no. I think she's going to be the buddy. If his buddy says, or one of them says, no, I heard she's going to be like Rey's mom in the movie. And then he goes, what if it's the same person?
oh,
What do you think?
JJ, you sly dog.
No. This is I sewn up. I've heard Kevin Smith is like trying to get a hold of JJ, like, please do this.
Oh,
But
wow.
does that add to or take away from Star Wars? So what he's basically saying is, please make the character of Ahsoka Tano Rey's mom.
Here's the thing. For me, seeing Ahsoka Tano in a live-action movie, awesome. I'm on board. However, with the current regime, I'm like, please don't ruin Ahsoka Tano in a live-action movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't have faith that Disney wouldn't ruin her character.
that would be my concern right there.
Well, let me say this. Star Wars is already ruined. Can they, I don't know, straighten out
Can I just
crumpled
address
paper?
the elephant in the room? She's not human. Rey is.
well,
Well,
she could be a little half and half,
human, maybe.
you know?
Maybe I've just taken more biology classes than it
You
doesn't.
know?
I mean,
She's twirling her hair, and then suddenly her hair is like more tentacle-like, and
maybe,
you're like,
so all of
You
her
haven't
life
taken
up,
alien biology
Yeah,
classes.
no, that's true. All of her life up to this point,
This is
she
all
was
science fiction,
She was
everybody.
just, she was just, presenting as a orange alien with weird headgear. That she actually wasn't. She was a human the whole time.
no, not Ahsoka. Rey being half and half.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Ahsoka can't give birth to a human because she's not a human.
She could give birth to a half human.
Yeah.
So where's
If
Rey's
she is
not
married
okay.
to a human. Okay.
Okay.
Human.
All right.
All right, let's set that aside, though. Set it aside just for a second. Assuming it was possible, what does that do for your opinion of the movie or your hopes for it or any of that? You can't get past it, can you? You're totally fixated right now.
I mean, what the frick? It's a freaking dumpster fire right now. I don't know. It's not like that would be worse. It would just be like, yep, and that happened.
I think we're getting him worked up. That's what's happening here. He's getting that whole, like, the gears are turning, the smoke's coming up, but there's no words.
That
The
would
lack of
not be.
words
Okay,
is a bad
here's what I
sign.
would like about it.
It's like there's like a cog broke off the gear, and then he's like, it's a grinder. He's like, I can't get past this. Like that.
Ray having parents that matter way better than they're just drunks and left you for some drinking money. That was terrible.
I like that. That would be sort of a let's undo something Rian Johnson did.
Yes,
little slap in the
that
face.
was terrible. Yeah, that was terrible, right? Or that I intended that all along to be another misdirect.
I wanted most of you not to like it.
Anyways, so I like that it would kind of correct that. It just kind of it would just be really weird that this Jedi lady that's not a human would have a very completely 100% human looking
How about this?
baby.
Opening scene, they leave the original island, Octu or whatever. They go to another island. There is Ahsoka. She's wearing a hood. Rey walks up, hands her 2 lightsabers. She throws them over both shoulders.
There we
What do
go.
you think?
That's the Ryan. That's Ryan Johnson's script. I heard the beginning of his script in this
right,
movie.
okay,
He didn't.
all right.
He didn't do it, but I've heard his script. Like it was going to go down the line. Like he eventually, she finds some other Jedi. She finds they actually dip into the video game lore of like what was the character's name? The
In the video game lore? I don't
Star
know.
Killer, something Star Killer. And she finds him. He was like this crazy powerful cloned Jedi.
Oh, right,
Like
right,
off
right.
the charts powerful. So she finds him. They dip into the video game, but then he also again is throwing his lightsabers into the water. And
That's right.
Just goes down this line of
Cut to
people abandoning
Chewbacca. He's holding a porg, throws it over his
Throws it
shoulder.
over one, yeah.
It's just like a whole thing.
Han Solo, yeah. Throws his blaster into the water. But he's dead, I guess. We can't do
And
that.
then they break the fourth wall. It's J.J. Abrams. He's got a holocron, and etched into the holocron, all of your hopes and dreams. Throws it over his shoulder.
Exactly. Yeah.
End credits.
Yeah. All of Disney's respect for the Star Wars franchise. Throw that over my shoulder into the water.
After this goes live, we're going to get a phone call. Hey, it's me, Kathleen. I heard your ideas, and can we get a meeting? Are you free maybe to come in and
Yeah.
talk about some...
Yeah. You don't want me there, Miss Kennedy. Sorry.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that. I guess you guys hadn't heard that, but I thought that's at the very least that's someone who loves Star Wars thinking about it and trying to improve or trying to make something interesting. So I thought that was very interesting.
I'm assuming that with all this talk around Ahsoka, you guys are aware of the little Easter egg that I threw in there. I think it was in Rogue One, or was it Force Awakens, where they're walking in the hangar and they're calling for her over the loudspeaker.
Were they calling for her? I thought they were calling for the
Oh, maybe
captain of.
it was
the ship, the Ghost from Rebels.
It was Hera. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. I apologize.
Yeah.
I'm getting my tentacles mixed up.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yes. Yeah. So, but the fact that Kevin Smith postulated it on the microphone tells me there's no way that's true, because he would never. He worships that throne. He wants to be a part of that filmmaking world so bad that he would never reveal a secret from the most secret.
It's not like it wasn't some sort of. It wasn't something that he heard and leaked. It was him and buddies generating ideas for what would be awesome. So I've heard he's trying to get and told and I had a hold of J.J. Abrams to be like, please do this. But it's not going to happen. I'd be blown.
You know what?
Well, that's my point. Now that he said it, it will never happen.
Maybe this is controversial, but I honestly think that if Kevin Smith did a Star Wars movie, we would be pleasantly surprised. I don't know if you've ever heard the YouTube clip where he talks about his original script idea for the Superman movie he was going to do before we got the Brandon whatever kind of dumpster fire there. But it all sounded on point. Like a true comic book fans. It was going to have Brainiac in it. It was going to have, like a lot of cool
I think
things.
if he had done episode 8, it would have been a much better movie. I will say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, my 2-year-old. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, could I lighten the mood a little bit?
Yeah, would you please?
Oh.
I would love to lighten the mood. And I want to tell you guys something. I want to tell you about the lamest superhero weaknesses that I've ever heard of.
The lame. Okay, is this like a top 10 maybe, or
Yeah, like
actual...
actual canon.
Oh, okay.
Some of them have been retconned, meaning they've gone back and said, never mind. Forget about that. Like that.
They must be good.
Yeah. So,
Ooh,
so let me go down.
Can I?
What if I tell you the character and you guys try to guess? How about that?
Oh, is Green Lantern's power on there? Because I think we talked about it before, didn't we?
Green Lantern has 2 on here.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
this is great. So I'm stealing your thunder. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Well, so say
His
your favorite-
his weakness used to be like the color yellow.
Yeah, that was one of the color. Anything the color yellow he couldn't affect.
Yeah.
I honestly still thought that was a thing.
No. Hal Jordan overcame it. He proved that
He
had
got
the power
over
to
his
overcame
fear
it.
of
And I think
yellow,
he
just
taught
like
them
I got
all.
over my fear of
What's his new
Megalodon.
weakness? CGI suits.
Deadpool.
Deadpool,
yeah.
No, there's another. You know the original Green Lantern, whose name is Alan something. I cannot remember. Anyway, Alan Scott. Is that what it was? Anyway,
Who cares?
his weakness was wood. He could not affect wood, and if you threw wood at him, it hurt real bad.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yes.
So
And
his nemesis was Groot.
Yeah, it would have been right. All right,
And
So,
cutting dialogue.
Now we all know what Superman's weakness is, but this is the lamest possible one. You guys have any guesses at all? What am I?
An additional weakness for Superman?
It falls in the same vein of his one weakness. I'll give you a hint. So we know that there are
When you go
multiple
online, they say,
colors
"Oh,
of
he's
kryptonite.
susceptible to." Sorry.
There are multiple colors of kryptonite.
Oh, great colors again.
So
Pink kryptonite.
pink. Yes, you were there. It's pink kryptonite. Do you know?
Wow.
Do you know how it affects him?
It turns them effeminate.
Exactly.
I'm just
No
saying that all
way.
up.
Yes.
The color and the power.
When he gets
I
exposed-
should write comics. It is now official.
When he
Apparently.
is exposed to pink kryptonite, he all of a sudden takes a little interest in Jimmy Olsen.
That's hilarious.
That's an actual thing.
Jimmy, you look really good today.
He goes.
Oh
He
my
goes full
God.
Paul
That
Rudd
is
and
a
Ant
real
Man. You know.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
Yep,
Wow.
that's actually a
that's
thing.
a real thing.
How old was that?
Yeah. How long did that last for the retcon?
Because like in the original
I don't think it lasted very long, but it
like
was
with Christopher Reeves, they synthesized some kryptonite with some wrong materials
The
in
red-
it,
red
and
kryptonite,
it made him like angry Superman instead of nice Superman. Anyways, instead of making him weak, it made him.
It was in a
evil.
Supergirl comic actually that this happened.
Oh,
Oh.
of course.
I hope that's the baseline for the movie.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
get me
coming out.
started. Why do they? It's like a girl comic. Why do you got to ruin the guy character? Why?
I don't know. Anyway,
She-Ra does it to He-Man. Now Supergirl does it to Superman.
I'm glad you
Just
enjoyed that
leave
one.
us alone.
I know. Well, since they've introduced the colors, now they can introduce the whole spectrum, right? And they could have him have crazy effects, right? But all right, the next one, Johnny Storm, also known
As the Human Torch.
The Human Torch. He was done at a bake loan. That's not his weakness. So what would you say his weakness is? I'll give you a hint. It's not water.
Is it coldness?
No.
Because that would be dumb. Because
Fire
he's a source of heat
extinguishers?
himself. A lack of
it is
oxygen,
not.
combustible materials. Is it
Asbestos.
asbestos? So
Asbestos.
asbestos man had
It
just
is
owned
a
him,
flame
right?
retardant material, and they did come up with a villain named Asbestos.
You're on fire.
On fire!
In Strange
Unlike
Tales, number
Johnny
111, Asbestos Man dials up Johnny Storm and arranges a showdown.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I was born in the wrong era. Was this like another like terrible '60s like
Yeah, it's been from like the maybe 70s or 80s.
Silver Age or whatever those are
You
called?
could have been the old guy at all the conventions going Excelsior.
Yeah, dang it!
So this one is actually
If I do this again, I don't. Okay, go ahead.
my list. My
You're gonna
list
go home
only,
and write down a bunch of ideas, today, aren't you?
my
There's
list
some
only.
terrible ideas I have that are amazing. Yeah.
So this one is. I only have my list only has one character, but I remember there's a second character that has the same issue. Do you know the name Gladiator
No.
from comics at all, or Captain Britain?
Yeah.
You
Captain
read
Britain,
those?
I know Captain Britain.
Do you know what their strengths and weaknesses are?
So you told us, I think, Captain Britain. He like the more praise he gets, like the
More
stronger,
confidence
yeah, more
he feels.
yeah, the more confidence he feels, the more powerful he gets.
So-
And then if you're disparaging him, then like he loses his power. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, so
Talk
like
about
as
a
he
hero.
kind of turns into a jerk, but as he's more bravado and more confident and almost overbearing, he becomes extremely powerful, which makes him very irritating in a comic because he's doing good and also being a jerk. But but then as soon as he loses that and doubts himself, he becomes very weak. Well,
Oh, I thought you
Gladiator-
were saying it was the opposite.
No,
I was
no.
like, that is bizarre.
So are you
no,
thinking
no.
about Gladiator? Like he's got like a mohawk,
Yeah,
and
he's
he's
got a
like
crazy
the,
mohawk.
He's basically like the Thor of another planet. Basically.
Yeah, he's like one of the most powerful guys in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, him and
Physical
Thor have
strength.
clashed a
He
couple
can, like,
times
yeah,
and
he
put
can
each
like
other in the
punch
butt.
a planet at a party. So
Yeah, he's
but
right.
as soon as he loses confidence in himself, doubts himself, he loses his powers significantly. Like, it's not like
So these guys' nemesis is like a really good heckler.
exactly. Your hair looks stupid. I bet I'm gonna lose this fight. All right. The next one, I think you guys might know this one, and I am just gonna touch on it very lightly because it's weird to me.
Okay.
Wonder Woman.
Oh, you told me, so I'm going to be quiet.
Do you know what it is?
Yes.
No, a weird weakness from like old comics back
It's
in the
old.
day.
It's like Golden Age, maybe Silver Age. It's her original weakness, which they may have retconned it. I can't remember.
So if we're going back that far, I'm just gonna
be very cynical, and you'll be correct. Go ahead.
I don't know, the sight of a burly-chested man or something like that.
Not far off.
You're not far off.
Huh?
If she is bound by a man, she is powerless.
Yeah. So if you tied her up or trapped her by a man, it's just like anything. Because what else could ruin a woman than being tied down?
I mean, I don't want to go too far, but S&M's off the table. So that's it.
It's Aphrodite's law. When an Amazon girl permits a man to chain her bracelets together, she becomes weak as other women in a man-ruled world.
Wow.
Oh my gosh!
So
That's
wait,
not
now,
dripping with everything.
Does she have a defined weakness currently, though?
I don't
They
know
don't
if currently
really-
she really
No, her
Yeah.
weakness is she's so awesome that
Yeah.
she's too awesome.
Because like in the
Being
movie,
too-
they just
being
put her up
too
against...
awesome.
Yeah. Put
Yeah.
her up against somebody...
The
Our
Dark
only
Knight-
weaknesses were limited by our imagination of what superpower we can continue to hero
Yeah.
power creep her. That's their only weakness.
Yeah.
currently.
So anyway, the next
I'm not
one is.
jaded. I'm not
I don't
jaded
think
enough.
either one of you get this, and this is one that has been retconned for sure. Much that'll make you happy.
Okay.
Thor. Any idea what?
Oh, he had some
Getting his
doofus
haircut?
close.
one. No, kind sir. Please don't cut my hair.
I saw a picture that somebody posted on Reddit today, and they were showing the contrast between the movies and the old comics. Because in the old comics, there's a panel of him getting his hair cut, and I don't know if it's Jane Foster or whoever that's cutting his hair, and she's like, "You're going to be so much more comfortable in the summertime now." And he's like, "I'm so glad." And then the other panel is from the movie with him going, "No!"
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is bizarre because he's only had his hair for like 1,500 summers. And
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I've been just fine. I want to hear. Go ahead.
If he's away from his hammer for more than 60 seconds, he reverts back to his Donald Blake form.
That's
That's
very
the Eric
long.
Matheson edition, or maybe Donald Blake too. Yeah. Well, so when you get into because in comic book in Marvel, they've had several different Thors. Like, so there was the original one. He died, and then of course in comic books you can't let anyone be dead forever. So they had like another incarnation where Don Blank.
A little bit of a Green Lantern thing where like somebody else gets the hammer and therefore they become...
Yes, so someone else, like essentially by getting possession of the hammer, becomes incarnate. So he becomes a dual personality. As a regular person, he is still himself, but when he turns into Thor, he is Thor.
There's a little Shazam thing going on.
Kind of.
Sort of,
I mean,
yeah.
that's an oversimplification what I said, but anyways, yeah. And so in the Infinity War storyline and Infinity Gem with the whole gauntlet thing, while he's fighting, the whole superheroes show up to fight Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
He like he deflects the hammer away, does all these different things, and Thor has to kind of leave the fight because like, oh my gosh, the fight's taking place in space,
Yeah.
which doesn't bother regular Thor, but him it does bother, and he's like, I gotta get my hammer because I'm going to turn back to regular dude and die in a
Suffocate,
second.
die.
And the other heroes don't even know he's not the real Thor. Actually, he's the second one. So that is a. So I was thinking real Thor. That's why nothing was good. But yeah, that is the thing.
Yep. I think we're pretty close. So I don't even know if you guys know this. Is Power Girl? Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She is basically she's sort of Superman from an alternate dimension, which I
A totally unnecessary and
stuff.
superfluous character with...
but
that are
she didn't
similar
have the weaknesses of Superman. She's not immune. She's immune to kryptonite. But any guess what her weakness is?
Leering men? No.
No.
Sorry.
No idea.
Raw, unprocessed natural material. Like, what does that even mean?
Yeah. What?
Basically, rocks, sand, the earth. The earth is her weakness. So, like if you had a stick, you could stab her with it, and it would hurt her.
Man.
Which I feel like you can't call yourself power anything if that's your
These
weakness.
are two different people being taken down by wood.
Or throwing a rock at her, right? All it takes is just some dude to throw a rock at her. Oh, negates her powers. She's done. Until it, I guess, becomes refined or combined with something else, it can hurt her.
Look, it just goes to show you. I mean,
Someone did not.
God
think that
bless him. He
through, I
brought
feel like.
us everything, but there was a lot of luck involved in Stan Lee being who he is today.
Yeah.
Well, none of those are
Well,
Stanley
that's DC.
characters.
That's DC, so-
except for the Thor part, but that's like an iteration. They only have the power.
Oh,
because of-
yeah, I'm
of the
just making
hammer.
a general statement
Well,
that back in the day, they were just spitballing ideas like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Condiment Man, as in ketchup and mustard. Condiment Man is an actual Batman villain. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They made up some wacky stuff back then. Well, that's cool. A little trip down the Bizarro Lane there.
Yeah, that's my list. I just thought you guys might find some of those interesting.
did enjoy it.
I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Pink Kryptonite had me laughing.
Yeah. Kryptonite. Just leave it. Okay. Well, so playing for the pink team is actually a thing. Okay. Okay. So this just kind of brings something. Our audience out there, that we love all of you, and I want to take our relationship with them and each other to another level.
Oh, man, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
We've shared with you some of who our favorite superheroes are, but you know what? Guys on the street will tell you who their favorite superhero is. I want to take this and make it a little bit more special, and I want to share with you, if I could have any superpower, what would it be? I want you to know the real me.
I knew there was a reason you took me to this nice restaurant. You never wear a tie. What's that in your pocket?
Are you kneeling down?
Yeah. So we were just kind of starting to talk about this before we turned on the mics here. So let's kind of continue that conversation. But I love to ask people, because there's so many superpowers that would be so cool to have. But then when I put myself in my real life that I have right now, that superpower would be completely not helpful. So I in that context, okay, I
want to know what it is.
So mine's not really all that interesting, but I've thought long and hard about it. And when I was younger or a little kid, I would have picked super strength and invincibility, that kind of super strength, but just trying to limit to one, not like a whole character's thing. Either super strength or flying. And I would not be sad with either of those, by the way, still to this day. Mm-hmm. But I think I would pick super speed.
Really?
Because, if you get some freakish power, I don't want to get something that they would, do tests on you. In speed, hopefully you could elude anyone, But speed would actually be helpful. Most things in life, if you could do it faster, you would be glad that you could do it faster, right?
So if you've been paying attention to our show at all, you may have picked up on the fact that in his normal life, he's a dentist. So are you just, envisioning, just cranking the people through there? Just got lines of people outside the door.
I don't know that in that career, the speed would be helpful very much, but getting to and from work, getting ready for work, you know what I'm saying?
This is where I feel
shuttling the kids to and from their various activities, being super fast, getting the chores done. You know what I'm saying? Typing my notes. That is really tedious.
But think about, not to get
great.
overly philosophical here, not to interrupt you, but think about it philosophically a little bit.
Yeah.
That was what technology was supposed to be for us, right? And all we've done is crammed more in and gotten more stressed. Do you think that if you had that kind of super speed, you'd literally just be cramming more into your life every day and be like, man, I wish I didn't have the super speed. Remember the good old days when I was slow?
I'll take it.
Here's a different take on it. Maybe it'll change your mind, because this kind of made
But
me
flying
less
would also be good,
interested
because
in-
if you can fly, you don't have to drown. I'm just saying. That's a thing.
So otherwise, you do have to.
That
drown.
would be your stupid weakness, though. You'd be like, I'm in water, I can't fly.
Yeah. So I was
I guess
reading
speed, I could run on the water. Yeah.
There was an old X-Men comic or something like that, and Quicksilver was in there. And in the comics, Quicksilver was a jerk all the time. And finally, somebody was like, that guy's such a butthole or something like that. Why is he that way? And it was like, well, have you ever been around people that just will not get out of the way or move to? So you just wish they would get the thing done that they should do. He's like, that's how everybody is to him.
Yeah, because he's so
everybody, his mind is moving
slow.
fast. So everybody, it takes forever for them to say what he wants them to say. It takes forever for them to do what he wants them to do. I'm like, I couldn't live that way.
That would be the downside. You would have to always be at the end of your patience.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
always have to be like, okay, I have to wait for this guy to take forever to do what he's going to do, because I know that I could paint this house before.
So that would be
everybody,
the unintended consequence of getting Midas's touch there. That you would.
Your whole
Yeah.
life would be that scene from Zootopia where they go to the DMV and the slot tells the joke.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay, so apparently I have chosen poorly. What would you guys?
It's still
pick?
a great power, but when I remember reading that, I'm like, oh my gosh,
that
yeah,
would
whoever
be.
wrote that really thought
The
about
unintended
it. And now I
consequence
don't
of it
know.
would be
yeah,
that
we're not saying it's bad. We're just saying with great power.
comes great
Responsibility.
impatience ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But I gotta ask you, Nathaniel, what would you pick if you could have any?
As
single
has
power?
been well established, much like his feminism on this show, is my love for the dark and nefarious. And for a long time, probably at least since high school, I've known that I would want Magneto's powers.
Magneto's
Practically
powers.
speaking, in my day-to-day life, what I would really want is more money. And bank vaults and armored cars are all made of metal, and police that come and try to arrest you have guns that have metal all through them, and technically he's able to make himself fly using his abilities.
Just wear a little bit of metal and make that metal fly.
And even if you weren't going to be totally dark and nefarious with it, there's just a lot of practical applications you think of as you go through everyday life. You're
Never
like,
need a
"Man."
screwdriver or a tool, probably, right? Just
Yeah.
everything's metal. Just
And if you mastered it the way that he does, where it's like an internal component he can be aware of kind of thing. I mean, like, I work a little bit with machines.
if you go to the full extent, I mean, they've
So
we talk about power creep and scope and stuff all the time, and they have scoped his powers to include anything in the electromagnetic spectrum, which it includes like now light and radiation, and he
interesting.
can affect all of those things. Which
I guess a little
so
bit.
if you were to go to that route, yeah, you make yourself pretty
Yeah.
incredibly powerful.
Your car breaks down, you'd be able to tell, just like, you'd have some idea what was going on. And a little bit of the darker, nefarious, inspired side of this. One movie that I enjoyed.
So you
even
pick
though-
a power that would enable you best to be a villain, basically.
That's
is what
right.
he just said. I'm so glad he's my friend.
Did you guys ever see the mediocre everyday superhero movie Jumper with Hayden Christensen?
Yes, I just
Yes.
watched it.
Yeah.
I really like that
I
movie.
love the concept of that movie. I love most of the movie. The only gripe I really had with the movie was Samuel L. Jackson with his bright white hair. Sort of just takes you out of it. You know what I mean? The idea of the paladin being
It makes
so
him look
boisterous.
a little bit more fanatical. It's like a little bit
Yeah.
extreme. So I liked it from that. But yeah, the hair just like, that's a little too white, isn't it? But yeah, I wish that movie had done better. I would have loved to have seen a sequel of
Yeah,
it.
me
It was
too.
well made. I enjoyed it.
The concept of the way he's living his life. This is maybe the greater draw to me. He's separated from society in many ways, right? He's living in that apartment.
Well, we got to set the table. So, The Jumper is a book that they made into a movie starring Hayden Christensen, and he discovers the ability to like teleport himself. Like if he's been there, he can snap his fingers and go there again, and so he can instantly teleport himself. And how as he discovers that as a kid, and he uses it to escape his unpleasant childhood.
Yeah.
And he like gets a bunch of money from a bank, and
He's teleporting
everywhere.
into the vault,
it just
not setting any alarms off.
Yeah, he walks by a
ruins
bank.
money.
They have the vault open, for somebody putting in their precious. So he teleports to the bank, steals all the cash out of it, and and so he's got places. You see him. He decides to have lunch on the top, sitting on the Sphinx's head. And he goes to. There's a huge storm coming, so he teleports to that storm so he can surf those waves. And then, right before he crashes to oblivion, he teleports back home, right? Or before he's about to tumble in the wave and die, right? He just back home, and all sees the whole world. So very cool movie. Watch it, but I just wanted to set the story for the movie and the point you're trying to make. Go ahead.
Well, I was just, I'm honestly surprised in the movie that he goes to the Sphinx's head because it's surrounded by sand, and we know he hates sand. It's coarse and it's rough, and
It's everywhere. Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's an element of that with the Magneto power for me, right? This whole idea that like you get the power, and yes, you're still living your old life, but you're sort of you've almost been jettisoned from the chains of society, and now you're living a totally different freewheeling life that is on a different. Maybe I've let you guys a little bit too far into the dark corners of my mind.
Well, that's it. See, I
this
thought a
fantasy-
little bit too much about it too, and there's a bunch of superpowers that I thought would be awesome, and then the more I thought about it, like mind reading, like I don't want to know what people are thinking. Like that will take me to a bad place, and I don't want to become a bad person, or like to be invisible would be so cool. But I'm like, but that would only be useful if I was up to no good.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And then I would be so tempted to be up to no good. And so I'm like, I still having a superpower doesn't change the fact that I still believe in a judgment day, and I want to be okay on it. You know what I'm saying?
I want in your Magneto, whatever fantasy, is it still maybe you are a little villainous in the world, but you still come home and be like, "Hey, honey, I'm home."
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
No, I did not.
You would give yourself a secret
they paid
identity?
me in cash this week at work. That's where I got this money. What are you
Oh
talking?
yeah,
It's
my,
all
my wife
quarters.
is
It's
my
all
wife is the
quarters.
polar opposite. She's way too much of a straight arrow to be married to a supervillain. You know what I mean? She couldn't handle the cameras outside the front door every day and the constant FBI presence. So yeah, I'd have to shield my family from that. But
All right.
keeping it on the down low.
You're a terrible person, and I love you. Okay,
I'd have some better name than Magneto.
Yeah.
Super Magnet Man or something like that.
much better.
Yeah.
And what would your weakness be? Never mind. Go ahead.
Plastic.
Aluminum.
Aluminum.
Aluminum. All right, my turn.
Mr. French name that I can no longer pronounce. A fausse pense.
Jean. What was it? No, it doesn't matter.
I feel like it's worth mentioning that I feel like it's a universal truth that anyone who is any level of geek, if you talk to them, they have thought about this at length.
That's what I'm saying. We needed to take our relationship to another level with the
Yeah.
fans. Let them inside a little
I don't
bit.
think
You know,
I've ever
we're-
met someone who again has a geek level of interest in anything that was like, no, I've never really thought about it. Never once.
Yeah. Well, they'd at least drop the I'd like to have fly power strength, the basic yeah. Anyways,
I have a hard time getting past super strength. It just sounds so fun to me.
but Dave, you already
I
have.
know
of
that
things
is
would you be doing?
that is like the number one on the list. Like
I thought you were going to say animal magnetism.
The animals would be attracted to me. Is that what you mean? No, thank you.
But in your day-to-day life, unless you're like me and you're
So you don't really care that. I mean,
What are you doing
honestly,
with it?
super strength. I don't know how often that would become helpful in your day to day life, but you still would want it anyways, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just super
I wouldn't
speed.
regret having it. I would
Yeah,
say that.
He
yeah.
does complain a lot when he
You know,
has
maybe.
to lift things.
Let me ask you this: does super strength come with invulnerability, or are they separate?
Just the
No,
one power,
yeah,
yeah.
just-
Oh, see, now I also lean towards invulnerability, where like nothing can hurt you.
The super strength was about showing
Dave, I
off
said
at the
pick a
gym,
power you
wasn't
don't
it?
have.
A superpower I don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about superpowers we do have. Okay. Okay.
Have I showed you guys my stash of money?
So I have a.
So why
I'm going to
super
go with
strength?
this.
No, why super
I
strength?
go
Go
with superpower and then like a sub superpower. I have like that.
Why you
Like
gotta
that
choose
book,
super strength?
like the Steelheart book. Have you guys haven't read that? It's amazing.
Oh, so good.
Brandon.
It's
Where,
Reckoner series by Brandon
a-
Sanderson. Yeah.
I forget what he called them, like a prime power and then like a
Subset power or
subset
whatever.
of
Yeah.
power, something like that.
Secondary.
So I think I have a hard time. Somewhere I would.
Some level of invulnerability, because if you're so strong that you can pick something up, that would have to be where your finger doesn't
Yeah.
get destroyed by lifting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but not like you could take bullets. I mean, you're strong enough to use your strength. You know what I'm saying? That was-
I want to
think-
know what you're going to do with it.
yeah. Why you pick
What
this?
do you
Dave?
want this for?
Change tires without a tool.
Just grab that lug
don't know.
nut and
I
just.
don't know.
boop,
I
turn
can
it.
do that with my
I
magnetism.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I'd either pick. I'd have to really sit down and it'd be either invulnerability or magnet or super strength. But can I go more into my sub power?
Dave,
My
okay. He's always
what?
got to do. He's such a rebel.
My sub power.
You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain
My
him.
sub power.
Your power is not
Is-
following the rules.
That's my true power. Yeah. Is I have the ability to negate celebrity status. So like if I just think about it, I think about like Oprah Winfrey wherever she is, and all of a sudden everybody has
Nobody
completely
cares.
forgotten who she is, that she's rich, and they're all like, "Get out of my way, lady!" And she's like, "Don't you know who I am?" Or whatever. You know?
I'm the
Yeah, exactly.
Because Oprah sounds like the Queen of England.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, is she not the Queen of England?
And there is no Queen of England. Okay. So.
So that would be my ability. Like Tom Cruise, wherever he is,
The
is
weirdest
now
power I've
expecting
ever heard.
like a free
I
latte
gotta know.
from Starbucks,
Whose
and they're like,
celebrity status
"That's
would you-
$4.50, buddy." Like that. Like that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
And he's like, they're like, "What?"
So why have you, whose celebrity status would you like to, and do you have this?
Where?
So many. When would it stop? When would I would never stop.
You would basically move to LA.
I
is what you're
could
saying?
negate it and restore it at will. Right, is what I would want to be able to do.
Well,
Maybe I negate it forever.
Okay.
Maybe I negate
I
it
have
for
to
30
say-
minutes and restore it later on.
Why?
he
I
giveth
just
and he taketh away.
Think
over
of the
here.
fun times. I just want to be there and see their reactions. when
Humble
people
them
stop
to the
treating them
earth.
like they're special.
He'd be Mr. Put him in their place.
Yeah, Mister. That'd be my power. Yeah, yeah. My name, Captain. Put them in their place.
I'm Captain Taken Downer. You've been taken down a peg.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, previously I've asked just about everybody that question, and that is now the new wackiest answer I've ever had.
Really?
You've unseated,
Easily.
You've unseated the old one.
Negate
Did I ever tell you the other
celebrity
one? So a buddy of mine in dental school, his was to have the power to snap his fingers and point at someone and make that person instantly lose control of their bowels. That was his choice, which I was just man, that was like a late night, stay up all night study session. And we were just rolling. Think of all the world events you could change. Someone's giving a political speech, someone betting, some dude's running for the end zone. Now he's running to the bathroom.
Ultimate villainous super team is somebody super famous is giving a public speech. They lose control of their bowels, and then they're instantly not famous anymore.
Yeah,
those guys.
I can do both. I'm Bowel Man. So that's what you learn from this, fans. I'm sorry if your mothers now no longer let you listen to our show. I'm very sorry about that. But have lots of friends because they will have really wacky ideas like this to tell you. I was just going to say speed or flying, but you meet new people and they give you new ideas and they widen you to new things. And hopefully we're able to share that. Broaden your horizons and share something from the inside of our hearts. We love you. Way to go, Hero Escape Podcast.
Now you know us a little better.
Yep.
Maybe too well.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to be able to think about for the rest of the week.
Which one? The celebrity
Famous?
stars?
Not famous. Famous, not famous.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you want more of our wackiness, you can look us up online. We'd love to hear your comments. Obviously, share us with your friends. We love you.
See you next week. Assuming we're still famous.